exciting day. I'm actually going to have a box. It's going to be enclosed. So I'm doing my first door. So you can see there's the frame, which is pretty much finished. And now I'm going to make the first frame for the door. Now you have to bear in mind that this is all going to be hidden, unfortunately, even though it's lovely jarrah. So big mishaps like that, because it's second-hand wood, is part of the course, but it's going to disappear. So on this side I've decided to use pocket holes, because there's going to be a rebate in here and I don't want any screws going in. Normally I would just screw in through this side like that, which is what I'm going to do on the hinge side, and screw in from the side, same on this one. Whereas the actual latching side, I'm going to use pocket screws, and hopefully that'll be good enough. And I'm going to use my epoxy glue for the same reason as last time. So without further ado, I'm going to use my fireball tools and get it all squared up. At least they fit. It's time-consuming, hard work with what I'd call hobby saws, really. It's not super accurate, and when you're doing this you need it as accurate as you can get. But like I said, the fact that that is reasonably straight and square, I'm amazed actually, considering it was all recycled timber. So tomorrow I can't wait to see how the composite might go in. The rebated lock's going to go here, and the rebated receiver or striker plate on the other side. So it hasn't arrived yet from eBay, but I'm pretty sure it's about 69mm in depth. So there's a couple of things I'm going to do. I'm trying to keep the weight down but keep the strength. So I might augment this frame just for my satisfaction and actually put almost the same thickness, maybe a bit thicker, pine frame on the inside of this frame. I'm using 100mm heavy duty hinges, which, so one of these, really nice stainless steel drop pin type, so I can unhinge it, and that's going to go in there, and I'm going to have 3 on each side. So that one there, and then one in the middle somewhere, and one at the bottom. Have the composite panel in the middle, but within that composite panel I'd like to cut it out and put a window in. This one on the seating area side is the one that's going to be the latched one, and the other one will be the one that sort of opens and shuts onto it. There'll be a rebate down the middle of about 13 to 15 mil. Anyway, time to pack up, have a beer, and tomorrow's another day. Finally got the augmented bits of timber milled down to the basic size, and I'm going to then give them a quick sand with the belt sander and the disc sander, just to get the really rough edges off. Here's the uprights that are going to go the length, and I made use of the timber that I had, so the top part is going to be 60 mil of the rails and the bottom will be 82, something like that, 83. So that's then done, and I think that's going to be more than ample to make this door super strong but reasonably light. Alright, look at the state of it. It's alright, boys. It's just what we've got here is the composite panel right there, and I've got the door frames now augmented with the pine on the inside. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to lay this on the floor, and I'm going to trace out the door frame on it and basically rebate it into the composite panel. We end up with a solid door frame that isn't too heavy and quite light. Sorry, I've marked it all out, as you can see. Cut it with my plunge saw down to the bottom fiberglass layer, and do that all the way around, and then this will have to come off all the way around to rebate the door. So that's what I'm going to do now. it's set overnight and it looks pretty solid. So what I'm doing now is I am just putting a key on here, leveling bits of the fiberglass to the wood. There's a slight difference in thicknesses in various places, not much, we're talking about 1 millimeter or so. So it's all done. I'm going to wipe it down with alcohol or methylated spirits, and then that board is going to go on top of there with glue. I'm going to probably glue the wood parts with the epoxy to give it some filling, and then this bit here I'm going to use Sicker, I think. What I'm going to do is put a Sicker on the most of this panel with some epoxy around the edges and maybe down the middle, and then the wood I'm mainly putting epoxy to give it that really hardened set finish, so it's very rigid. Don't really want it flexing at all. Just like that, the first door is done. So it's a little bit heavier than I anticipated, but I'm happy with the result. What I'm doing here is just trimming the door to the exact size that I want it to be, and I basically repeat this process with the other door. So I've got both doors exactly the size I want them to be. I've routed most of these hinge recesses already for the frame, and now I'm just finishing them off with a chisel. These are ready to put in, but I haven't put them in yet, so I'm just going to show you how I do mine here. Those of you who are chippies, probably, or carpenters, already know what to do, but for those of you who don't and want to put patio doors in their truck, this is how I go about doing it, I guess. So just marking it up, looks like a really tight fit. I score the edges of my hinges. Most of the strength of these hinges are in the fitting, as well as the screws obviously. So I just rescore it so it's definitely not going to chip the wood, or minimally. Especially this Jarrah hardwood, it's so easy to chip that it doesn't look good. So it's done there. And I follow that with my chisel, which I just sharpened last night. And of course I put the GoPro right in the bloody way. So, I think it's a bit shallow, but we'll try it more. I think that needs to go, yeah, it's too shallow. So, I'm going to chisel a bit more out, but I'm not going to show you that. And then that's just to bring it down a little bit. It's not far off here. I want it down a bit more, another half a mil or so. So that's what I'll do, and I'll show you how I screw it together. Okay, let's try that. That's a lot better now. Feels a bit tight on that side yet, so I'm just going to take a bit out of this corner. There we go. So these are stainless steel G10s, just perfect for this 100mm by 30 flange stainless steel hinge. There we go, he's in. And there you go. So that's all done. I've just got 2 more to do. That's how I fit my hinges. Right, so I'm going to flip this whole unit over, and I'm going to do that one before it gets too dark. And then that'll be the hinges on. Alright, time to do the other ones. Another one done, one more to go. It's getting a bit dark out there though. Right now I'm just marking exactly where these hinges go, because I've lined them all up with the spaces, the window framing spaces. So they're all ready to, and I'm hoping this gap will increase by about 3mm once these are, because the hinges are 2.5mm-ish in thickness. So that will bring this gap down from about 5 or 6 down to 3. That one should be 3. Again, 5-ish, just under 4mm gap down here. I'm trying my best to get them level, but without having too much of a gap. So that's what I'm trying to do here. Again, this frame looks like it's bowed a bit, but hopefully when it goes in the truck, things will straighten up a little bit, because it's quite a tight fit in the truck itself. So here we go, I'm just marking these bits and pieces. So literally line it up exactly with the hinge and give it a good scratch, just a couple of mil. And that way we can't make a mistake, hopefully. We'll do this one the same. And this pin sharp mark. There we go. So now I'm going to remove the door and start working on that. Just repeat, rinse and repeat. So that's in, isn't it, boy? He's a good boy. And what I'm going to do now is drill the holes and fit the other holes to the other one. And I'm going to leave the other door till tomorrow because I'm being eaten alive by mozzies, and yeah, it's not pleasant. So I'm just going to finish these off. I'll probably try and put the door on and hinge it, see if it works, and that'll do for tonight. Alright, let's catch you tomorrow. Another day dawns and another job to do. Off work today, so I have put the hinges on the other one and it opens and closes pretty good. I've only just temporarily put the pins in up to the serrated bit. Using the blade to increase the depth of the curve because it's not quite deep enough here when I first built it. I'm using the same old blade that I did when I built it, just like a saw, and I just alternate the teeth so that the little curve seal fits right all the way home. It's not perfect, but it's good enough. So I'll put a little dab of super glue or something every so often to maybe hold it in, but now it's a bit better than it was. It was too shallow on this side for some reason. I think it's because I had to take a bit off here because the door's slightly bowed, but now we're nearly there. I'll take a bit more with this blade, and I just alternate the teeth because the teeth are biased one way or the other, and that way it saves trying to use a machine and make a mess of it if the machine goes offline, or out of line rather. Door off now, and then we're going to tidy it up a little bit and start putting the locks on. This one, put the striker plate in. Unfortunately, the varnish is actually still a bit tacky, so I'm not keen on gluing it just yet because it just won't cure once you put more glue on it. So I'm going to have to leave it, I think, another day. I'll leave it out here because it's in the sun here rather than under the patio, which is out of the sun. And let it harden a bit more because I can feel it on my hands. So I'm not going to be able to glue it in today, which is a pain in the butt because I'm back in work tomorrow. So I might have to do it after work. And then we're forecast more rain, a lot of heavy rain. So ideally I'd like to get them in tomorrow, which means I can work on the doors a little bit today instead. And yeah, there's not much else I can do. I mean, everything is ready to go. The pins are in, sorry, the hinges are in, the pins are ready to go in to hold the doors. It's a shame I can't brace it somewhere and put the doors on there as well, but I think that's gonna just make the job harder. But now it's in place, I might start thinking about putting the actual floor joist in somewhere there just to see what it looks like. That will brace the bottom. But I think really to do that I need to build this area out first, because that's where the storage is going to be in front of that door or behind that door, whichever way we want to look at it. And the L shape, like a chaise lounge type affair with a extendable base that will act as a single bed if anyone wants to stay the night, or if I just want to lounge around on it, or even if the boys want to lounge around on it. So yeah, so let's put a stop to that. And I know I've got heaps of jobs, but you know what it's like, you don't want to start something because it's all your tools are set up for what you were doing last. It means I have to have a major clear out and reset to start doing some other jobs, but I really do have to keep the momentum going. So I'll think of something, I'm sure. I think the first thing is I'm going to try and work on the doors to get them a bit more ready for fitting. I'll go to the glass shop today and see what the deal is with cutting a piece of toughened glass or tempered glass for the two doors. what the deal is with that and whether it can be done locally, or is it a case of yet again getting it from Perth or East Side or somewhere else where for some reason you can't get it here. But anyway, I'll keep you updated. I've decided to put the frame in. I've put one coat of yacht varnish on it so it seals the wood where the glue is going to go. So what I'm going to do now is I'm prepping this surface along here, just from the leading edge all the way up along there. Just literally, 10mm, half an inch, all the way down and all the way down the bottom, just to give it a bit of a key. And then I'm going to clean it with the old methone. And yeah, so it's going to be ready for the Sikaflex and the wooden frame. So I'm just about to do that now, and yeah, exciting day. I'm actually going to have a box that's going to be enclosed soon. All right, I'm going to put you down here so you can watch. I'll just do it on time lapse. How does that sound? I'm about to glue in the frame now. So that thing that I glued in yesterday with all the clamps is now solid. It's left over from the Pantech box. I'm not sure why I didn't go all the way down, but I put it in with the frame in, so it should all fit. So now I'm going to use my toolbox, which is that hybrid type sealant adhesive on mainly the blue XPS foam, because I know that works, and a bit of the coral flute type stuff. But the Sikaflex I'm going to put on this mating surface here and against the actual fiberglass gel coat. I think I've got enough glue on there. I've run out of the toolbox stuff, which is a lot more pliant. So that's all done up there. And then a very thin Sika bead, which is, I find, is more than enough for Sika. So I'm going to now put it through and on, and hopefully that will be that job done and dusted. So fingers crossed. Part of me always thinks I should have put more glue on, but I've wasted so much in the past. I think it's pretty stuck in there. I don't think it's going to go anywhere. And by the time I've done all my cabinetry, I'm going to put a little bead all around the edge as well. And I think it ain't going nowhere. So I'm going to start clamping it all up, and hopefully that's that job done. By the time you put cabinetry, like I said before, and I might put some cabinetry along the sides, or definitely at the top. I think it's going to be well stuck in, and there's going to be a little architrave, whether it's alu or jarrah, I don't know yet, to hold it from this side. You can see it's pretty much filled it all in. There's a little bit to go, so I might just give it a little bit more of a bit more thicker in the bottom especially, and I think we'll call that a successful job. So I'm putting this kerf seal in. It's a little bit awkward, especially when you're trying to hold a camera, but I'm basically trying to get this part into that slot, and I'm using an old angle grinder spanner to do it. Just push like this. It's a lot easier with two hands, but I'll do what I can. So push it like that and rotate it like this, and you get the gist, but basically that's what it is. So yeah, I'm not going to do this and show you. Sometimes it's too much, it's too difficult, so I'm just going to do it. And basically this is the last one. I've done all these other ones. I'm sort of meeting them up like that rather than overlap, because it'll just cause the door to jam even more. This door's just sitting there nicely on the seal there, as you can see. I shake it about. And the other doors down there on the floor, I just had to do a little bit of trimming and set them up, and then all that's left to do then is to paint them. I'm still waiting on the glass, that's why there's a funny patch in the middle there, and same on that one, because that's going to be cut out anyway. It's obviously a lot bigger than that, but I just wanted to cover myself. But they're looking good. They're looking good. Looking good for homemade doors, that's for sure. And they're pretty big. I mean, they're 170 across each, plus 10 mil or so for the rebate. So they're not standard doors. You can't buy them like that. Well, you can, but you pay a fortune for them, and you still got to work on them to make them smaller. I think, I can't remember the size, but the biggest standard size you can get is 930, I think. Not 970. I think you can get, last I saw was 1100, but they're bloody expensive, and you're going to lose most of the frame, which is where the strength of the door is if they're a hollow door. Mine at least are hollow in the sense that they've got composite panel in the center.